got this friend who's a builder. He's in construction. And I was talking to him the other day. He was building this house. He's building a couple of houses. But this one house he was really proud of because it has a lot of really cool lights. You know, lights are really cool, different structures and styles. And he was telling me in this house, he was placing these lights in certain areas. In fact, there's this one in the kitchen. There's this bar, like a counter, like a breakfast bar. You probably have some maybe in your house. And then above it has these lights hanging down. Really cool lights. And they have to go in the exact right position. Like, if they're like 4 inches off, like then you can't really see your food as well, you know? And in the stairs, he has these lights in the stairs, and the lights come down in just this perfect spot so that if you're walking and you flip the light on, you can see clearly the stairs. You know, if you got little kids like we do, the stuff on the stairs so you don't trip. But the lights are put in a very specific place. Builders are intentional and strategic about where they place their lights. And I really believe that God is building something here. I think God wants to build something with you here at Lincoln. I don't think He wants us to just be this nice little club that, I'm part of a Christian club. No, I think He wants to really do something. And He's very strategic about where He places lights. And He's placed you here for a reason. You are a light. And He wants you to shine in a very dark world. I love this verse in Matthew. It's in the Beatitudes or the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus says, "You are the light of the world." Everybody say light. Light. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. The purpose of a light is to shine. If you're a light and you're not shining, you're not really a light, because the light's job is to give light. And you have to give light. And that's what God wants you to do. So the question I want to ask you is, are you on a stand or are you under a bowl? Like the people in Jesus' day when He was talking, they really understood what He meant, because they didn't have electricity. They didn't have a light switch they just flip on. And lights were kind of expensive. Most people back then, I heard, only had maybe 1 or maybe 2 lights in their house. And so they had to position it in a specific place so it would give maximum light. And I want you guys to think about God has placed you where you are for a reason. So you can be a light. So are you on a stand giving light, or are you under a bowl? I mean, that's absurd to think about. You'd have a light. That's kind of like saying, okay, I'm going to put a light bulb under a couch. Like, that's crazy. In the same way, God looks at us and He thinks, I've saved you. You say you're a Christian, but you're not sharing your faith. Or you talk about me in a certain way, but then your actions show something totally different. That's absurd. How could that be? And you guys know as well as I do, it's a dark world out there. I mean, when you go out these doors and you go out there, I mean, you see all kinds of things, you hear all kinds of things, and God is not present in a lot of places. And that's why you're here. And sometimes the dark is, it's a little scary. I went camping last summer. I love camping. My wife's here. Say hi to my wife. Hi, Dee. We went camping. We loved camping. And I forgot a flashlight. You ever been camping? Yeah. It gets dark in the woods. Anybody forget a flashlight? I forgot it. We set up the tent, because we got there like in the afternoon, built a little fire, sun's going down, and I was like, okay, bring it to flashlight. I couldn't find a flashlight. Got it. Fortunately, I had my phone flashlight, but then it died. I had no light. It's so dark out there. The dark is scary. I'm actually scared of the dark. I was scared as a little kid. Anybody scared of the dark? Oh, yeah. Anybody still scared of the dark? Like, I hated the dark. We had this hallway in my house down to like my bedroom, my sister's bedroom. I did not want to go down that hallway. It was dark by myself. I was scared. You know the locker rooms? If you go through the gym into the locker room, there's the hallway. There's a pole right in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I know what I'm talking about. A couple of years ago, I was here on a Saturday, and I was doing this basketball clinic for a bunch of kids. And it was like supposed to start at 8, right? And it was like 7:58. And I realized I forgot a whistle. I was like, oh, where's my whistle? It's okay, I'll run into the coach's office. So I open the gym door. It's dark, right? So I'm like, okay, I know where the door is. I forgot about the pole. I went straight for the door. Oh, I hit the pole. Blood was coming out of my forehead. I was like, oh, the dark. I hate the dark. The dark makes you forget things like knowing there's a pole right there. The same thing's true in our spiritual lives. It's dark out there. And God has put you here for a reason. He wants you to shine. Okay, real quick, another verse. God gave me this verse the other day, and I really started thinking about it. At first, it might not seem like much of a verse, but it says, from one man, he, meaning God, made all the nations, that they should inhabit the whole earth. And he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their land. He's marked out your time in all of history. I mean, think about it. He could have had you born 100 years ago, 100 years from now, but he marked out your time. He wanted you to be born now for a reason. There's a reason you were born when you were born and not 50 years ago, 200 years ago. And it's so important that we understand that. Are you really living out the purpose that God has for you? Are you shining your light? And I don't mean just talking about it. I mean, are you walking the talk? The boundaries. He marked out the boundaries. What are your boundaries? The boundaries, that's where you live. It's where you work. I mean, think about it. It's your Starbucks. It's where you shop. If you drive, it's where you get gas. It's where you hang out. He marked those out, and that's where you're supposed to shine. If you really let this get a hold of you, it changes your life. Because it'll change the way you go to lunch. It'll change the way you interact with someone at the grocery store. God has put you here to shine your light. And how easy is it to just go day by day? Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Oh yeah, I'm doing what God wants me to, but you're not really doing anything. Maybe you're saying a little thing here or there. Maybe you got Philippians 4:13 written on your notebook. But are you really living it out? Got time for one little last story here. There was this girl who was really ashamed of her mom. Her mom had a big little scar right across her face. A big little scar. The girl was so embarrassed by it. She never invited her friends over. She didn't want them to see her mom. She never invited her mom to school functions, to her sporting events, or anything like that. She was just really embarrassed of her mom. And one day, her mom came to her and she said, honey, why don't you ever invite your friends over? Why don't you ever invite me to come see you at school at any of your activities? And she goes, Mom, it's the scar. I'm really embarrassed because of your scar. And it was ugly. It was an ugly scar. She said, honey, sit down a minute. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something I've never told you about this scar. You see, when you were a little baby, you were sleeping in your crib, and I was out at the barn doing some work. And as I was out there, I looked up, and the house was on fire. There were flames going everywhere, and I rushed up to the house. I ran into your room, and flames were all over, but I grabbed you just in the nick of time. And I was running out of the house with flames everywhere. And right before I got out of the house, a beam fell. And it hit me across the face. I was able to throw you out to safety. But this piece of wood came and it landed on my face and seared my face for a minute.
Christiana Abrego, please come to the attendance office.
She said, I want you to understand.
Roland Davis, please come to the attendance office.
Because I was saving your life.
Sarah Stevenson.
The only reason that's there is because I saved your life. And I want you to think about Christ and what he did for us. He's got some scars. He's got scars on his hand, on his feet, where he's nailed to Christ. He's got a sword scar from the sword in his side. And why is that there? It's for you. It's for us. And we can't be ashamed. We can't be ashamed to say, I'm a Christian. We can't be ashamed to say, I'm going to be the light that he wants me to be because of what he did for me. Bow your heads right now if you would. Just close your eyes.